Uh, Gamers, how's it going? We're going to be doing a what should you play, as we always do when we have new events. If you're not familiar already, basically what we do is people in my Discord send me different replays and deck lists, and then I show you the lists, I show you the replays. It's to help give you some ideas as to what you should play in this event. Now, normally before we get into that, we look, at some of the interesting bans, and we talk about what the format is going to look like a little bit for the event. Here, by the way, for these loners, you have like a Witchcrafter deck, which looks fine, but it's like if you're playing Witchcrafter in this event, you probably already have it. There's this one here, which is like an Earthbound, I don't really like this one. I don't like this list. If anything, I think the best loner deck would be like the Punk one, and I don't think it's very good either. I think it's quite bad. So I think this event is not going to be too kind to people who want a loner. But if I had to recommend one, I'd probably recommend the Punk one just because it has like at least a decent suite of hand traps. But yeah, overall the power level of this format is going to be pretty high. Now, before we get into all the lists and all that stuff, I do want to re-emphasize we have the Master Duel Central Cup 2 coming up next week in 7 days, basically from the day this video is releasing. So on February 23rd at 10 a.m. EST, we're going to be doing the MDC Cup 2. Now, this tournament is, free to enter. $500 prize pool, $300 for first place, $100 for second place, $50 for third and fourth place. Good amount of money on the line, for a free tourney. I think it's pretty nice considering how small our channel is. So I really hope to see, a lot of people participate. I mean, literally, if you're off on that Sunday, like, what is there to lose? Just go play a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and potentially, get some money. And if not, well, you'll probably have a good time anyway. Everybody loved the first MDC Cup. I think the second one's going to be even better. So if you do want to participate, I'm going to leave all the links at the top of the description. Basically, we need your deck submission through our Google form. We need you to sign up on the Battlefy. We need you to join our Discord. And also, I need you to make sure that your name in the Discord, your name on Battlefy, and your name in Master Duel are all the same. Super, super important just to make sure that, the players can actually find each other in the duel rooms once the tournament's actually started. Nothing too crazy. If you want more information, just go on the Battlefy page, link in the description, and you'll get all the info you need. You'll also find all the info you need on the Discord, and don't be scared to ask questions there. Now, with that being said, we got to get into this video. So we're going to start by just talking about what are probably going to be the most relevant decks. So this is actually a pretty short list. Now, there's actually going to be a lot of decks that are quite playable in Synchro Fusion. So it's pretty intentional that this list is short. I'm just kind of putting what I think are the best decks or decks that are very budget or people already have that are likely to be popular. So for the absolute best decks in the event, I would say you're looking at White Forest. Tier Limit is not super hit. Like, it's hit, like Rhino Heart is at 1, but Tier Limit can just play 3 copies of, I think it's Chimera. Yeah, this card is basically Rhino Heart, right? So you just play 3 of this plus Rhino Heart, and you get like 4 copies essentially of Rhino Heart for tier. So tier is definitely going to be quite good. I think Rhino Heart at 1 is the only hit on tier. So that's definitely going to be solid. I recommend if you're playing tier, maybe play like either the Light Sworn or the Shadal version. Those seem to be the less hit versions. Then here we have Branded. Branded is hit, like Albion's at 1. There's Alubra's also at 1. There's a couple hits here and there, but I definitely think Branded, be it pure or a hybrid build or something, I think you can't really go wrong with Branded. It is going to be quite good. I do believe Retribution. Yeah, Retribution is still legal. Yeah, and Gogigut is here. So you got everything you need, and a lot of people just got, that free, basically, Branded deck with the campaign. So if you wanted to play Branded, this would be a really good opportunity to do it. Then another one that I think is going to be crazy this event is Chimera/Illusion. And that's because the Azamina engine is basically unhit this event, including Diabell Star. So, you can run Diabell Star, Wanted, the whole, the small little Azamina package, and you can throw that into a lot of decks. It's a really, really good engine, and I think you're going to be seeing it a lot. Then the other 2 decks I have here are like Sword Soul and Exodia. I don't think these are going to be amazing decks for the event at all, actually, because the event is going to be pretty high power level wise. But most people already have Sword Soul, and it's a very beginner friendly deck. So I think a lot of beginners are like, I think the deck might be popular just because it's competent enough, even though it's not the best deck of the event, and it's just a festival. It's not like a ranked event, right? So it should be like pretty, like, it should be pretty smooth sailing if you're picking a deck like Sorcel, and I honestly think the same could be said for a deck like Exodia. This is an even more beginner-friendly deck, extremely simple, easy to play, straight to the point, right? And I also think this one's like competent enough that if you get your full setup turn 1 and you just scoop when you don't win the coin flip, you can probably coast along pretty well. And this deck I think takes only like 5 URs to build, so Exodia is going to be a pretty good budget option, especially considering that the loner decks are not very good this event. Last thing I put here for relevant deck slash engine whatever is Bestial. Bestial is just a really good engine for this event. As you can see, a lot of the most popular decks, which is like, you know, White Forest, Chimera, Cheerlement, Branded, like these are some of the decks I think are going to be the most popular and some of the best in the event, and they all get hit pretty hard by Bestial. Centurion's not going to be that popular, I think, because they banned Crimson Dragon for the event, so Centurion doesn't have like their big payoff that they normally get. It's not like unplayable, but I don't think you're going to be seeing it much, so I actually think Bestial is a really good like meta call. Obviously these are all predictions, I could be wrong, so it's really just like my what I'm expecting for the event. And as for notable bans, I didn't really do it this time around because really most hand traps are legal. The only 2 that are banned that I can really see that are relevant is Maxi's banned, and the other hand trap would be Dimensional Shifters banned, most Floodgate stuff in general. So I don't really want to do like notable bans for this video. I really don't think it's worth doing. If you have Fuelos, you can replace Maxi with Fuelos and you'll be good to go. We got a lot of lists to cover though, and a lot of replays to show, so let's just get into it. And starting off, we're gonna do my list actually, not to glaze myself or anything, but I think my White Forest list is pretty good. I'm running White Forest Azamina, and since Fiendsmith is quite literally useless this event because we don't have links, I decided to run the toy engine. Of course, if you don't have Toy Box, you know, you could just replace this with Bestials. It's less expensive, but I love Toy Box. It pops off like crazy. It's really good within the deck. I really like White Forest. I'm not going to talk about this super long. I don't want to make a bunch of deck profiles, but I think White Forest is maybe going to be the best deck of the event. I think this is a good build, but there's definitely a lot of ways you can build this deck that are going to be super solid. So, you know, have at it. Anyway, let's check out the replay. This replay, I go second into like basically nothing, but I just popped off so crazy. I basically pressed so many buttons. I don't even think I played it optimal, but I just thought it was a really good showcase of just how high the power level of this deck is within the event. Like the event seems pretty crazy power level wise. So, you know, my opponent here goes for Diabel. I try to hit Diabel with Valor. They chain their spell here to attempt to go into a fusion, but they don't have the materials they need, so they just end up specialing Diabels from the hand here. And then they're just kind of stuck with a dead Super Poly in hand. Obviously, I don't know it's Super Poly yet, but yeah, nothing too crazy here. Shuffle back, get a draw, hope for some engine. It was Fuelos. Feels bad, man. Okay, so now we're going to set 2. I'm just trying to bait out the Diabels, and the second set works. Diabels pops the Woes. I'm feeling okay about it. I just wanted to make sure my Toy Box goes through, and it seems like it will. Here they said Morian, which tells me, oh, cool, that set is not Morian. I don't know it's Super Poly, but I know it's not Morian. So I go for Toy Box, set Toy Soldier, set Toy Tank, and I normal summon the Esteller. Esteller send the Toy Soldier to the grave. Go for Sylvie, trigger the Toy Soldier in the grave. The chain block, well, we don't really need the chain block, but chain blocking Sylvie, you know, just in case. We get to search the Tales of the White Forest. I play this a bit awkward. I had almost like too much gas to a point where I wasn't sure what order I should take. So anyway, I go for, you know, for my Rusia here, send the Toy Tank to the grave. I draw into Millenium reframing. We go into Arciella. Arciella send to the grave the Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. Then I get to trigger Sinful Spoils and set it back. Get to trigger a Stellar in the grave to special summon it back. You know, we have like a lot of gas here. We just get to do a lot. So with these 2, I go into an early Baron. I go Baron, pop the unknown back row with Super Poly. Now we know. I go for LZ, discarding the Tails, set back the Tails. Use these 2, I go into a Muddy Mud Dragon. Then I can go LZ, special summon it. Use Muddy Mud Dragon plus the other LZ to go into Albion. Then use Albion effect. I get to banish itself and the Muddy Mud Dragon in the grave to go into a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Then I use a Toy Tank effect to bring back Sylvie from the grave, and we can go into a Stardust Charge Warrior. Stardust Charge Warrior gets us a draw. Then I trigger the LZ in the grave to get to search a card. We search the Deception. This is in order to get into our Azamina engine. And yeah, the Stardust Charge Warrior drew me into the Hallowed Azamina. So lucky, I guess. We're going to go for Hallowed Azamina, discard a card. I mean, not discard, but use the Deception as fusion material, summon out Arcielago, grab the Wanted. This was kind of a mistake, I guess, because the Wanted, I can't even use it under Diabels, and I didn't out it or anything. So anyway, I go Hallowed here, summon out the Sylvia, sending the Wanted straight from the hand to the grave. It is what it is. Now I'm going to use my level 6 Dark and my level 4 Light to make a beautiful, powerful Chaos Angel. We're going to go Chaos Angel right now. Banish the Diabels, sorry. Then we can go for Wanted in the Grave, shuffle back Deception, search the LZ, set the reframing. So, you know, we got 1, 2, 3 Omni Negates. We had our fusion spell set up, which allows us to go into a Guardian Chimera on opponent's turn. Guardian Chimera can then pop 2 cards. They're going to go for Sinful Spoils of Slumber. But of course, we have more than enough Omni Negates. We actually have 4 because we drew into reframing. And again, this wasn't even like a standard combo or anything like that. Like, there's just so many combos you can do with this deck. I have a lot of replays for this deck, but, you know, I don't want to spend all day on it. So anyway, let me just fast forward here. You know, just we close out the game, obviously, at this point. It was very much overkill. I was just pressing a bunch of buttons, showing the options you have. This deck is definitely going to be broken. But, I mean, I've yapped long enough about White Forest. Let's move on. All right, next list here coming in from Fraser in the Discord. And I'm just going to say Fraser did end up changing the list a bit and removing the Waking the Dragon. But really, I don't want to talk about this deck too long because I don't even think it's going to be one of the best decks in the event. I'm mostly talking about Exodia just because it's a very legit like budget option. Pretty much every single UR in this deck other than the fusion is completely unnecessary in the extra deck, I mean. And in the main deck, you really just need Sengenjin. And again, every other UR in the deck is kind of unnecessary. This one's really good for the deck because it's an extra copy of your Heart of Blue Eyes. 1 AF piece is pretty good going first. But yeah, other than that, like really, this deck is just super budget. You just need 5 URs because you want like your 3 Sengenjin and 2 copies of Unstoppable Exodia. So if you want a budget deck, since the loners are so bad, I guess you could go for this. We're going to check out the replay. It should be a pretty quick one because Exodia games, when you win, they go by pretty quickly typically. So let's just see what we get here. All right, let's see what kind of hand we've got. We're going second here and we got, oh my God. Yeah, like don't run this. Just don't run it. Don't run that. Anyway, our opponent is playing White Forest. Okay, so we're just going to fast forward a little bit here. Toy box, setting up the Toy Soldier and the Toy Tank. Okay, setting Imperm. Okay, the hand was rough. Cool. So here we go. We're just going to activate the Wedju Temple, set up the shield, and Sengenjin go shield, search Millenium Ankh. Then we're going to go for Sengenjin, reveal Millenium Ankh to summon it and search a monster. We can search the Heart of the Blue Eyes, activate Heart of the Blue Eyes, send it to the grave to grab another copy of our Ankh. Then we're going to go for Ankh, reveal 5 pieces of Exodia, you know, summon the big old fusion guy, activate Obliterate Blaze on it, go for the effect to wipe the entire board. They go for Imperm, but we can negate the Imperm with Unstoppable Exodia's Spell or Trap negate, and then we're just going to wipe both back rows entirely, just wipe both of them completely. Get all pieces of Exodia on the field. Our dude is 10,000 attack. Our opponent gets to trigger Toy Tank and Toy Soldier. It does not matter whatsoever, not even a little bit. They get to search a card. That's cool. Anyway, we're gonna swing here. Oh, we also have piercing, by the way. Forgot to mention that. So big damage, easy game. The games are quick. If you know you lose, just scoop it up, you know, and then go next game. It shouldn't be too long with Exodia. It's not the best deck ever, but I think it serves a pretty decent purpose in this event. But let's move on. All right, and the next one is coming in from Kinohara, and I'm excited to see this one. So I don't know if I would call this a budget option, but it kind of is in a way, just because we recently got that new branded structure deck. But that deck is really, really good. A lot of people got it just by using campaign code, so they got it for free. And with that, I guess like a lot of people are probably going to be playing branded in this event. It's going to be really, really good. It took a couple of hits, but it's still like really insane. Aliber's at 1, Albion is at 1, and other than that, I mean, it's pretty much unhit. I think maybe Mirror Jade is at 1. I don't exactly recall. But yeah, just looking at this list, this is more of like a mix, right? It's like a Synchro Branded deck with some Bestial in there. Looks really solid. Looking forward to see the replay. We're going to check it out right now. All right, so let's look at our hand. We've got 2 Thrusts, we got Diabel, and we got Bestial Aliber. Kind of a weird hand. Let's see how this works. So we're going to start by discarding the Thrust, go for Diabel start effect, and our well, isn't that just ideal? Our opponent decides to summon Scareclaw Cash for no reason whatsoever, banishing the Ogre, putting a monster on the field. That's amazing. So we're going to start off with Deception, tributing the Bestial Aliber. They're going to go for Ash on our Deception. Not that big a deal because we do have a pretty crazy card in hand right now. We get to go for Triple Tactics Thrust now, completely safe from Ash. And wow, we're going for Hallowed Azamina instead of Branded Fusion. Interesting. So we go for Ilya Sylvia, sending the Deception to the grave. We normal Ash and we go Baron. Are we not running Branded Fusion? Okay. I mean, that's 2 Omni negates. I mean, it's fine. I'm really surprised that we didn't go for Branded Fusion. Okay, so our opponent goes for Unicorn. We go for Negate Unicorn. It gets popped. Then they go for Planet Pathfinder. We negate Planet Pathfinder here. They set and they pass. Right. Well, it would have been cool to see the deck in action, but I guess that works. Let's go check out the other branded deck. Okay, so the other branded deck I wanted to show you is coming in from Grave in the Discord. Thanks for sending it. And it's branded Predaplant. And definitely branded Predaplant has a pretty crazy ceiling. But yeah, let's go check it out. I think this is one of the few events where branded Predaplant can actually perform quite well. And I already am somewhat familiar with this deck. Like I played it before. I played this deck before. I forget most of what happens with it, but I did play it, so I think I could remember just by watching it. We'll see if that's the case, though. So here in hand, we have Biblis, Fulos, Predator Practice, and Super Poly. Now, keep in mind, Predaplants can actually search Super Poly, so it's pretty damn good within this deck. And we're going second here, so our opponent is going Deception. We're going to Ash the Deception. They have Thrust. They're going to go for Thrust, set Woes of the... Oh, that's rough. Set Woes and summon Magnamut. Yikes. That's not very good. Grab a Druis Worm. Yeah, that's really rough. Anyway, so we're going to go for Predator Practice. Summon the Biblisp. Search the Scorpio. Scorpio normal summon. Discard the Quem to be able to special from the deck. And then our Scorpio is going to get Impermed. We're actually going to chain Super Poly to dodge the Imperm, which is really, really strong here, actually. Really, really good use of Super Poly to make a Ambulomelites, if that's how you say it. I'm not sure. And summon out a Darlingtonia with the Scorpio. So we get the Ambulomelites effect, Biblisp in the grave as well as Chainlink 3 and Darlingtonia as Chainlink 2. So we get to grab our Bufolicula. Cobra is going to add to hand a Branded Fusion, and the is going to search Triantis. So we're going to go for Branded Fusion here, send the Albaz as well as the Cartesia to the grave, make ourselves a nice Albion. Albion is going to fuse away those two to go straight into a Mirror Jade here. Then we're going to scale up the Bufolicula, scale up Triantis, and Bufolicula can fusion summon using the Predaplants in the Pendulum Scales as material as well to go into Trifo Veritum, and our opponent's just going to scoop it up. If you're not familiar with Predaplant, I don't blame you, but also you're probably already familiar with like what branded does, so I didn't really want to show you a standard branded list anyway. So yeah, just keep in mind branded is going to be crazy. Let's move on though. All right, this next one here is coming in from Pokemon Trainer, and it's Chimera. Chimera took a couple hits, I think. Like the main one is Mirror Sword Knight is it won this event, which I don't think is really that big of a deal. So Pokemon Trainer decided to run 3 Diabel and 3 Deception to, I guess, kind of make up for it, to make sure that he has extra gas so that like his normal summon, be it Gazelle or be it Mirror Sword Knight, doesn't necessarily get hit by a hand trap. You also lose the gas of the Fiendsmith engine in this event, which is a slightly bigger hit, I would say, to this deck than a lot of others. So I think it kind of makes sense to run all 3. I don't think you need to, but I think it kind of makes sense to run 3 Diabel and 3 Deception. List looks really good. Pokemon Trainer is really good at the game, and I'm actually the one getting beat up in this replay. So if you want to see me get bullied, check it out. See here, I have a wonderful, amazing hand here. So Pokemon Trainer goes for Codal, search Gazelle, normal Gazelle, and I'm just going to go for Imperm on the Gazelle here. But we're going to dodge. We're going to dodge with Chimera Fusion. Let's fast forward a little bit here. So Chimera Fusion using Codal as well as Gazelle. We get Berfomet, search Chimera Fusion, go for Berfomet, send to the grave, and Gazelle, search the Apprentice. We send to the grave a Diabels, and we go for Special Apprentice, discarding Tau. Then Tau can trigger in the grave to special summon Diabels from the graveyard. We get to search our Mirror Sword Knight with Apprentice since we already had the LZ Azamina in hand. Add back the Chimera Fusion, go for LZ effect, and we can fuse away to go into our Moa Regina. Now, thankfully, we had Mirror Sword Knight in hand, so we actually don't need to use the Apprentice, and we can use it later as tribute for the Deception. So here with Moa Regina, we can summon back from the grave the Mirror Sword Knight. Then we can use Moa Regina plus the LZ to go into a Chaos Angel. This is really just to trigger the graveyard effect of LZ, allowing us to search a Deception, activate Deception, trigger the effect of Deception, tributing our Apprentice to search the Hallowed Azamina, activate Hallowed Azamina, send to the graveyard our Deception to summon out the Arcealago. So then we're going to get to go for Arcielago, search the Wanted, and we're going to add back our Hallowed Azamina by shuffling back LZ. So now we can go Hallowed Azamina, chain Wanted, search the Diabel Star, and we can summon out our Ilya Sylvia, get a nice Omni Negate on the field. Then we send to the grave our Arcielago to summon out our Diabel, set up a a Morian, basically. This is a Book of Moon for specials. Use Mirror Sword Knight to summon Big Wing Baphomet. We don't mind being locked anymore. We're kind of done with doing other things. So we go for a Chimera Fusion, summon Chimera, King of the Phantom Beasts. Now we get a hand loop, and we also have the graveyard effect of our Mirror Sword Knight and our Kodal live from now on. We also get the Baphomet effect to bring back the Mirror Sword Knight so we can summon on opponent's turn with it. And we get our Wanted draw to, you know, maybe draw into a hand trap or something. Turned out to be Crossout Designator. It's fine. We have 2 Chimera Fusion set and our Morian. It's pretty much unlosable. Here I'm just pressing buttons because I know I lost this game already. Yeah, Pokemon Trainer goes for Mirror Sword Knight, summon out Gazelle, and you know, I try to get in there. Mirror Sword Knight effect in the grave to negate Diabel. I summon Sylvie. We negate Sylvie. You know, I pass turn, and then Pokemon Trainer's pretty respectful. You know, summons a monster and then just flips everything to attack position. Real nice, real quick like that. And yeah, we just close it out. I do try to do some Jedi mind tricks here. You know, I send my monster to the grave, summon back Diabel. You know, we're doing a little bit of card tricks, but obviously it's all for naught. It's all for no reason at all. Man, I gotta say, if you're playing Chimera this event, you're probably going to be doing pretty damn good. It's a pretty high power level deck, honestly, for the event. That about does it for like the really crazy decks that I think are going to be everywhere this event. The only one that I didn't get a submission for is Tier Limit. But now we're going to move on to the based options. You know, I get a lot of replays that are more exciting, less competitive, more like just epic style, you know, gamer shit. All right, and we're gonna start off strong with our GOAT Mazinger. It wouldn't be a what should Maz play without some Maz plays. So yeah, this is Gate Guardian with White Forest and Azamina. I don't have much else to say. We're just gonna go check it out, okay? I'm sure it's gonna be a good replay. I'm sure it's gonna be enjoyable. I don't know if he took it to ladder this time around or if he went in a duel room. Knowing Maz, it's pretty likely that he got his replay in ladder because he just loves doing that. So let's just see what it is. We've got Labyrinth Wall Shadow, Sylvie, Hallowed Azamina, and Sinful Spoils. We're going first, starting off with Wall Shadow, setting up a Kazejin, normal summoning Sylvie to search the Tails of the White Forest. Go for Tails of the White Forest, searching the regular LZ, and we're going to go regular LZ, discard the Sinful Spoils, summon LZ, search the other LZ, the Azamina version, and we get to set the Sinful Spoils from the graveyard here. Summon out the Azamina LZ, go into Arciela, sent to the grave. Oh, our field spell. Very cool. Then we get our LZ effect in the grave to search. So we're going to be searching out a Deception, of course. And then with the Arciela, we can add to hand a Rusia. So now we're going to go for Deception. And we're going to activate the Hallowed Azamina, send the Deception to the grave, and make ourselves a Mu Arcielago. Arcielago is going to search out a Wanted. Then we can shuffle back our LZ in the grave, grab back our Hallowed Azamina. We go for Hallowed Azamina, chain the Wanted, and we get to go into probably Ilya Sylvia here. Let's fast forward a little bit, add the Diabel Star, send to the grave the Wanted, go Ilya Sylvia. Then we go ahead and synchro into our Diabel. Diabel can add back our field spell, which is not once per turn, by the way, very important. So we get to go for Labyrinth Wall Shadow, set up the Suijin graveyard effect here to summon back our Sylvie and go into a Baron de Fleur. Then we get to go for Wanted in the grave, banish it, shuffle back, Deception, draw, and we drew into another Sylvie. It's fine. We send 2 to the banish here to summon our Gate Guardian of Wind and Water. This is a twice per turn spell and trap negate. So we have 2 Omni negates, a twice per turn spell and trap negate. This is basically in response to an activation, we can summon our level 6 Synchro and basically Book of Moon our opponent's entire field. And we also have our quick play spell here, which I'm guessing is to make, yeah, most likely Guardian Chimera. So anyway, let's keep it going here. Let's see what our opponent is playing. They're going for Raigeki. We're going to negate Raigeki. They're going for Mecha Widow Anchor. We're going to negate that with the Ilya Sylvia. Then they're going to go for Triple Tactics Talent, but this is not once per turn. We get to negate it again, and then they just scoop it up. The entire game was carried by Gate Guardian. If it wasn't for Gate Guardian, Maz would have lost that. So you should play Gate Guardians. All right, I showed some fun stuff for the combo dudes. Kenny did call me out recently for never putting trap decks in my What Should You Plays. So we're rectifying that. So you submitted 3 decks, and I'm going to pick the most slow-paced one out of the 3. actually. We're going to be looking at True Draco. True Draco, it has to run a couple of weird things because most of like the floodgate type cards in the event are banned. So we're running stuff like Swords of Concealing Light. We have Apophis in here at 3. Apophis kind of seems pretty good actually in this deck, you know, just as a way to blanket negate a lot of cards on the field. We have Crackdown. One of our strongest floodgates is actually Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So if you're playing against a dark deck, I guess that's going to be really crazy, but it's not going to feel too good against decks like White Forest, right? So I don't know about this one, but whatever. We're going to go check out the replay. I especially hope to see Masterpiece get summoned. Hopefully we see Masterpiece get summoned. And keep in mind, Cheerleman is also probably going to be pretty popular, so it's not like I think Shadow Imprisoning Mirror is bad or anything. I think it's definitely going to come up. Branded is going to be super popular too. That's another deck that doesn't really like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror at all. So this hand seems pretty damn good. We're going to start off with a Dragonic Diagram, pop the Swords of Concealing Light, search out a Dynamite Knight, and set a couple of cards and pass turn. Our opponent's going to go Fusion Deployment, summon out the Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart, send to the grave a Havness, and they're going to go into a Kit Kalos. Then we're going to get the effect of Kit Kalos, and we're going to go for Apophis and then Chain Apocalypse so that we can negate Kit Kalos on the field. They're going to go to battle and beat over our Apophis. It is what it is. We've got our Apocalypse in hand. We've got our Dynamite Knight, Dragonic Diagram that we drew off the top. Pretty good. So we're going to go for Heritage here. We're going to Tribute to summon our Dynamite Knight, search our Masterpiece. Then we get to target their Solic, but they're going to chain their Solic. And then we're going to chain our Dynamite Knight to their Solic because it's anything they activate really that lets us chain the Dynamite. So we put a face-up True Draco Apocalypse. We send the Kit Kalos to the grave. They get the Kit Kalos effect here and the Solic effect in the grave. So they definitely get to search a couple of cards here. This is not too bad. So search a Sharon, mill a couple of cards, milled the Tier Cash, and we mill a Serenir. That's a really good one. Send to the grave a Branded in High Spirit. We're going to go to battle, swing with the Dynamite Knight. They're going to summon Druisworm. We're going to beat over it because our monster is actually normal summon, so Druisworm doesn't really matter all that much. We're going to set True King's Return and go to end phase. Our opponent's going to add back the Branded in High Spirit. And so far, not looking too bad at all. So our opponent's going for Sharon here. They're playing a Branded Tier Limit list, which, by the way, I didn't even mention that. But a Branded Tier Limit is also probably a decent way to play Branded in the event. I didn't even think of that. Okay, so our opponent's going to Branded High Spirit here, send the Titaniclad and the Bestial Serenir, add the Blazing Cartesia to the hand. Then we can go Serenir, send to the grave a Branded Fusion, go Retribution in the grave, add back the Branded Fusion. We're going to activate the Branded Fusion, summon an Albion. Then we're going to go for Albion effect, banishing the Serenir and the Druisworm in the grave to make a Borreload Furious, actually. Then we are going to tribute our Lubellion to summon, our Albion to summon Lubellion, but we're going to go Apocalypse to split our opponent's attack. They're going to go for Furious on our field spell. We're going to chain the effect to be able to summon with Apocalypse, and I think we're just going to summon Masterpiece here. Yeah, Masterpiece is good. Masterpiece is really, really good here. So we get our Masterpiece on the field. Apocalypse triggers. We get to pop a monster. They're going to go for Cartesia here, summon the Cartesia so that they can fusion summon into a Grand Guignol. And we're going to get the effect in the grave of Sharon as well as the effect on the field of Grand Guignol. Man, this deck actually seems pretty crazy for the event. I'm kind of happy that we get like 2 showcases in one with this replay here. Okay, so going for a Lubellion. We're going to fast forward a little bit here. Discarding the Nibiru, shuffling 2 to summon out the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade go to battle, and then we get to just banish and pop. They get the effect of Mirror Jade, but this dude, I believe, is unaffected by monster effects, right? So it doesn't even matter. I think it doesn't matter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's totally safe. So yeah, they're just going to scoop it up. Pretty damn good, dude. Pretty good replay, good showing. I think True Draco is actually not going to be that great for the event, but if you're like a trap guy, if you like, if you like True Draco, I mean, it's probably going to be fine. It's probably going to be all right. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm biased. Anyway, whatever. Good replay. All right, this next one here is coming in from Digidestined Keyblader. I decided, you know what? I'm going to double down on the traps. Digidestined Keyblader, longtime follower of the channel, sent in Dinomorphia. And I don't know how good this is actually going to be in the event. Like, looking at the list, it looks fine enough. But I'm not super familiar with Dinomorphia, not enough to tell you like what they're missing or what they would need to be better. I'm seeing 3 Domain here. Are we missing the other fusion spell? No, we have Domain and we have Frenzy. Yeah, so this is probably really good. It's probably great, actually. It's probably really, really freaking good in the event. So we're just going to check out the replay. Shout out Digidestined Keyblader. I'll fast forward through this. I actually hate Dinomorphia. I actually don't like it at all. You know, I got a big smile on my face because I'm trying to stay positive. and we're going to keep that energy. But yeah, I don't like your deck, man. Anyway, we're going to go for Theresia, and our opponent's going to Imperm Theresia, which is an awful play, an awful move, but whatever. Going to go Fossil Dig here. We should have done that first, but whatever. And now we're going to set 3, and we're just going to pass turn. Just going to pass turn here. They're going to summon Moye and reveal a Tenyi Ashna, and we're going to go for Imperm on Moye, then activate Frenzy, half of our life points to Fusion Summon. They're going to chain, doesn't really matter. We make a Kentrigina, and then we're going to split our life points yet again to summon out our big boy Rex term. You know, you love to see it. No, you don't. And our opponent's going to go for Psychic and Punisher. That's a pretty good one. We're going to go for Sonic on their spell here. They're going to pop our Theresia. We get to banish Sonic and summon Diplos. Diplos dump a trap. They're going to go to battle, and we can pay half our life points to lower their attack. And yeah, because our life points are way lower, right? So their Psychic and Punisher was affected there. I don't know if they forgot about that. Then we're going to go for Fossil Dig, search Theresia, and now we're just BMing. Really? Are we going to BM with this? Okay, you didn't BM for too long. It's fine. You're fine. You're good. You're Gucci. Good replay. W Digidestined Keyblader. Shout out to the Dinomorphia players. All right, and now for our 10th and final list that we're showcasing, we're going to let Mazinger run it back. Shout out to everyone, though, that submitted. Honestly, I got a lot of nice submissions for this video, nice variation of decks, and I do appreciate that quite a bit. But yeah, we're going to end it with Earthbound Azamina, which, look, man, don't ask me, okay? Like, I've played a little bit of Earthbound, but I don't really, like, I don't recall the deck enough to see the glue. When I see it in action, I'll understand, because I did really enjoy the Earthbound engine when I played it, but I haven't played it in a minute. So I'm just going to jump into the replay and see how this works. And if it's cool, well, you know, all the lists are in the description. Feel free to copy it, but I can't really talk about the list too much because honestly, I'd just be yapping and saying a bunch of crap that means nothing. And I also don't want to meander because we're at 10 decks now. But, I'm meandering right now. Let's check out the replay. Okay, so we've got Baldrake in hand, Earthbound Prisoner, Groundkeeper, Diabellstar, and Deception. Looks good. We're going to start by discarding our Baldrake to summon our Diabellstar. Diabellstar set up the Morian right away. Go for Earthbound Prisoner, Groundkeeper. Summon from the deck the Line Walker. Search Harmonic Synchro Fusion. This allows us to both Synchro and Fusion at the same time. So we get to make a Baron and summon a Earthbound Servant, Geo Gremlina. Gremlina can search the Stone Sweeper, discard Stone Sweeper. So you get to search out your Vision Resonator. Vision Resonator, special summon from the hand, go into a Earthbound, Servant Griffin, and then we get to search a Crimson Gaia, activate Crimson Gaia, get to add to our hand back the Vision Resonator. Then we're going to go for Deception, activate, tributing the Vision Resonator that we just added back to get a Hallowed Azamina, send the Deception to, send the Morian to the grave. That makes sense, actually, to get our Mu Arcielago. Then we get to trigger Mu Arcielago, add to our hand the LZ Azamina of the White Forest, special summon it, use it as well as our Groundkeeper to go into, oh my goodness, it's Metal Marcher. What is this, Hulk format? And we get to trigger in the grave our LZ that we synchroed away to search. So Metal Marcher, summon back our level 1, and then we get to search our Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. Use these two to go into an FA Dawn Dragster, trigger the Hallowed Azamina in the grave, shuffling back the Mu Arcielago to add it back. Then we get to go for Earthbound Servant, summon back our Stone Sweeper, and go into an Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon, summoning back the Vision Resonator. Then we get to go into Hallowed Azamina, chain Wanted, add back the Diabellstar from the grave to the hand. Okay, this combo is kind of insane, kind of crazy. So add a Diabellstar, get to summon the Ilya Sylvia, sending the Wanted to the graveyard. So now that's 2 Omni Negates. We've got a Spell and Trap Negate right here. Morian gets set again. This is a Book of Moon effect, and we have Axel Synchro Stardust on the field. We can just quick effect, tribute this card, person wants Stardust from our extra, then Synchro Summon using monsters you control, right? So we can literally just use this effect to summon Stardust and then use Stardust plus Vision Resonator to go into a level 10 Synchro. Pretty good, pretty good. Our opponent is going to go for Charge of the Light Brigade here, milling 3, grabbing a Wise or a Vice. I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to say that. Get a little bit of burn-in. They're going to activate Sharon. We're going to go for our Stardust Synchro Dragon, Axel, Asshole, whatever. Summon regular Stardust. Very cool animation right there. And, oh, okay, that worked. Yeah, that works too. That's another way to do it. So we just have Stardust as destruction protection. That's kind of based. That's kind of sick. Okay, so Rhino Heart triggers in the grave. We're going to negate Rhino Heart here. And then they're going to go for a Havness. We ain't Havness, right? Oh, okay, we are. I thought, man, I made a terrible joke, and it didn't even pay off because we didn't even negate it. I thought we would negate it with arms or something, but you know, it is what it is. Either way, they go for a wolf here. We're going to flip down the wolf. They're going to go for their Lightsworn Dragonling. And we're just going to banish a light monster from our grave to negate the Dragonling effect in the hand. It's going to get popped, go to the grave. They summon out a Weiss. They go into Minerva. Okay, so definitely playing in ranked here because Minerva is not going to be legal in the event. They go to battle phase, crash Minerva just to get the Minerva graveyard effect. But we still have our Baka in the gate. This is really down bad here. Bro is really down bad. Okay, and then they pass and just scoop it up. Yeah, okay. Pretty good showing. Pretty good showing. I mean, that was actually really, really cool. Awesome combo. Just super sick. Okay, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Reminder, again, please do sign up for the tournament if you're interested in participating in a free tournament with $500 prize pool, okay? Shout out Abdul Rahim for hooking us up with the prize pool. That's a real one right there. And really, if you're free on that day, it's a no-brainer. You really should participate. Share it with your grandma. Let her know that she should participate too. As for this event, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this video was useful to you. If out of 10 decks you still don't know what you're playing, you're crazy. But if you do know what you're playing and it wasn't in this video, let me know what you're playing in the comments. Now, I'm going to stop doing YouTuber things and I'm just going to end the video.